Today in our study, this will be old-fashioned for a lot of people, and some may even turn off 10 minutes of truth. But it's in the Word of God. It is Bible. I'm going to teach on this subject. Parents are failing. Parents are failing. I'm going to read from Proverbs 19 and verse 18. God says, "Chasten thy son while there is hope, and let not thy soul spare for his crying." I was talking to a teacher yesterday, talking about she retired early, and others are walking away across this country from schools. Not because they're not trained, not because they don't love what they've been called to do. Lack of discipline. They can't take it. No discipline in the schools. Nobody controlling anything. And they're walking away. And this blame is going back to the home. Not to the churches, not to the school system, not to the school board. Back at home. My first point is this: the parent's responsibility. In our text, we have the first three words, chasten thy son, or it could be a daughter. The word chasten means chastise with blows, instruct, correct, punish, and teach. It's not talking about beating a child up with your fists. It's talking about structured discipline with blows, instruct, correct, punish, and teach. And this is one area that's showing up today in our country, going back to the parents who will not do the responsibility they have to chasten their children. These children grow up without that in their lives, and they have families, and they have a copy of the way they were raised. So now we into the second and third generation, because 60 years ago when I was in high school, we had one man, the principal, that run our school. There was no cussing in the halls. If there were, we were disciplined. No one talked to the teacher in a hateful way. If we did, we had discipline. That one, not the law now. We didn't have police in the halls. We had one man. And then at home, we had many parents who also disciplined us. Number two, the period of time is short for parents to do this. You only have a few months to lay the foundation for your children. Our text says now, while there is hope. So far the words are, chasten thy son or daughter while there is hope. You only have a few months to do this, to lay in that child's life the foundation to be what he or she should be when it comes to respect, when it comes to obedience, when it comes to honor, that we have today a lack of. We only have a short period of time before that little baby becomes a toddler, kindergarten, grammar school, high school, grown and gone, and the period of time is over. In Proverbs 13:24, God said, "He that spareth his rod hateth his son," or it could be a daughter. "But he that loveth him or her chasten him or her betimes." The word betimes means before it's too late. God says you only have a short period of time before it's too late, when that child is a young person, a young adult, and that period of time is over. There are parents today across this country who have failed their children, failing their children today. Number three, the pity is not to override the correction. I've been there when those tears come. I've been there when they look so pitiful. But our text says now these words, Proverbs 19:18. "And let not thy soul spare or yield for his crying." Don't let the crying override the correction. Don't let the crying override responsibility. The old saying is true. It hurts us more than them. But don't let the tears of the child stop the responsibility of the parents. And you're looking for a byproduct when your son or daughter gets grown and see their lives. You're looking for a byproduct of the way that you scripturally raised them. When you see them respect, they saying Mr. and Mrs., they saying yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. People today, this is old-fashioned, Preacher Hemphill. No, it's in the Bible. And we got a problem today across this country. Churches, schools, everywhere. Go to Walmart. Look at a family. Look who's yelling at their parents and getting by with it. It's almost a disaster. You see, everything we have in life, we have instruction from the Word of God to do those things. Everything. Even to being a good employee, a good worker. The Bible teaches how to do that. And also how to have a family. How husband and wife should be. How to train children. And we only have a short period of time. I want to use a verse in Proverbs 22:15. I love this verse. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction would drive it far from him. I've been there. I was raised with discipline. I was raised with correction. I had great respect for my daddy and my mama. I love them very much. And I was punished time and time again. I'm 75 years old. I still say Mr. and Mrs. I still say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that. But I got traits in my life today that goes all the way back when I was a little boy. Being raised by parents who were saved and knew from the Word of God they had a short period of time to help me to become the man in life that I should be. I raised my children the same way. In my first church, my wife, even as they grew up, she had responsibility. I was in the pulpit from the time they were just small. So she had responsibility with two boys in the pew in church. So she would deal with it. And one Sunday morning, my first church I pastored, she carried my youngest son out. He was misbehaving. In a few minutes, she come back in with him and sat down. And my oldest son said these words to him. Did she whip you? He said, no, she just prayed for me. That Sunday morning, on the front steps of our church, that's what she done. He was expecting some punishment, but she bowed her head and prayed for him. That's important too. Prayer is important too. And if we're praying parents and we believe the Word of God, also there's punishment. Today, some of you have small children, and it's not too late for you. Some of you have missed the mark, and they've grown and gone. And many have become brats, not because of failure anywhere else, but the failure in the home has caused many young people today to have no regard for anybody else. It's showing up with the law, police. It's showing up in schools, even youth groups and churches. You've seen today much disrespect because parents in years gone by have failed scripturally to raise and train their children the way God said do it. Being a parent, the way the Bible said, it's not easy. It'll make you old. When my boys were running the rows, I left the house many times during those evenings and went and found them. I was not at peace about what was going on in my spirit. I went and found them. And one night I got my youngest son, I carried him home. And I said, do I embarrass you? He said, nope, you're the only one that does it. He felt love because I was so concerned I would go where they were and check it out. Parenting, biblically, is not easy, but it's the only way to do it correctly. Please today receive this word from God in your family before it's too late. Until next time, from Clark's Chapel Baptist Church, we trust with God's help that you would have wonderful days.